All right, D.Grae, you're welcome. But just was saying.
Thank you, Richard.
All right, so okay, me to me wage but it's fine. I'll take it. So we all want to know. We all want to know about you. Those who don't know you want to know you. What you represent, how you came to faith. Basic stuff. Not necessarily basic stuff because how you came to faith is a little in depth. So tell us who you are.
So my name is Deladem Kweku Adom. My pseudonym is D.Grae. The Gray is Graham, but that's another story for another day.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say I became a Christian in 2013 or 2014. Okay, early 2014. Early 2014. I mean, we're all born in church, but when I say I became a Christian, I understood what it was about.
Okay.
In 2014, January, I went for a camp with a certain organization known as Teens Allowed, and then that's where it took off. I think it was the right place for me at the right time where God wanted me to be. At the time, I was in KNUST, so first year, Charlie. First year, and then I got to meet those people, and then Charlie. Kwame Nkrumah University of Spiritual Training.
Sorry, that's a bar, Kwame Nkrumah University of Spiritual Training. I've never heard that one. That's a new one.
Yeah, so I think that's coming into the faith. I think it's a longer story, but this is the summary of it. This is the summary of who I am.
Okay, so basically, you were led to faith through that ministry, Teens Allowed, or in terms of becoming serious with God, I should say, serious with the faith, understanding what it means and all that.
Yes, I'm actually coming to understand it and running with it.
Yeah, that's very interesting because I tell people that I feel like some people will be in heaven and they'll be surprised they're there because you can't be born again and not understand what it means. So yeah, even me, sometimes I struggle to remember when exactly I got born again because obviously in Ghana, most people in Ghana have heard about Jesus. You've probably gotten saved about 9 times already. Yeah, it's like you have 9 lives already. So you kind of can't tell. It's like you can't tell when you got born again. But like similarly, I also came to understand the gospel in what it means in its entirety, what the grace of God and all those things mean in university. So I could have been born again before, probably in secondary school or even before. But then, like you're saying, there's always that time where everybody gets that spiritual awakening and actually understands what it means to be, a Christian. So yeah, it's interesting to hear that I'm not alone in this. However, there's more to you. There's music. First of all, there's even a spoken word side to you. Some people by now have forgotten that you actually do spoken word. I don't know whether I should say you used to or you still do, because the first time the first time I heard you or I encountered you in terms of like arts was through spoken word. I had never heard your music. I don't think I had. That was somewhere in 2019. Maybe I'd heard your music, but probably I didn't even know you were the one. But 2019, that camp, Take Up Your Cross camp, I think you did administration. Your spoken word that day caught my attention. I think I spoke to you after that. But then later on, I get to see that, you actually also do make music. It's not just about the spoken word. Talk to us about why that transition? Because I've seen Monty transition from being a spoken word artist, solely a spoken word artist, into a musician. I think you probably had some music background, but I don't know its full story. But how do you make that transition? Say that, okay, now I'm a musician, spoken word is like another thing I do, but like people know me as a musician. Talk to us.
So I don't think there was a transition. I think I used to do everything simultaneously. So I was doing all of them together. But I started with music. I started with music in 2005. I was in JHS1 when I recorded like my first 3 songs in the studio, and so that was the beginning for me. I've always loved and done music.
Okay.
So it's been almost 19 years since like I entered the studio to record a song, my own song and all of that.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, so I started with music. I've always done music, but at the point I was doing secular music. So I have songs that I have cast away. I have songs that I don't show anywhere, I don't play anywhere. It's just locked up. Even they're on my YouTube channel, but they are not public. Like I used to record almost every day after school by myself and just play around. So it's not really pro. I had some professional songs, but then for spoken word, I didn't know spoken word actually. So like same time I got to the university. So this was same 2014. With Teens Aloud, I met a friend of mine. He's called Chris Cross. And so Chris Cross came and he's like, okay, so I know you can rap, and we've been asked to do a spoken word. I'm supposed to do a spoken word. I'm like, okay, what's it like? He's like, oh, it's like poetry, but it's like rap. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I had not yet watched the video. I didn't know what it sounded like. And so it was a Valentine's Day event, but I mean a Christian Valentine's Day program. And then we were supposed to minister the piece on Saturday, and he was telling me on Monday. So by Wednesday we met together and wrote a duet, and then we ministered it that Saturday. So from then, I think he showed me some video. I think the first video I watched, spoken word video I watched, was Almost by Ezekiel as on P4CM.
Okay,
I
okay.
was like, this is really nice. Like, and that was it. So I guess from there I just started to write more. From there I started to write more. So I was, and at the time I was in this allowed. We had a group called Love Troy. It was a band. So we recorded our songs, but then we ministered live. By God's grace, at the point I was the national director for creatives in the organization.
Okay.
So I had to double in everything one way or the other, train more people to do spoken word, get more people on board for music. So I was actually doing both until I think after the university, I started doing a lot more spoken word events, like you are called to come here, come and do spoken word here and all of those things. So it became that's what became more of what I was known for. Like a lot of people knew me for spoken word rather than the music. So I just said, okay, let me do my music again because I love music. And then that is how maybe it looks like there was a transition. But I've always done music. It's just at the point I was in a band and now I'm solo.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So makes sense. So that
Uh,
means that if somebody joined your music journey in the middle, or your creative arts ministry in the middle, they may think that you transitioned from spoken
yeah,
word, but I
yeah,
mean you had actually been doing music all
both
this
of
while.
them.
That's
Yeah.
interesting to know. But so currently, how many projects have you worked on so far? Like in terms of body of works, not just singles, but like together, as an EP, mixtape, album, whatever.
Uh, so I have one album. As in
Okay,
alone, I have one album.
okay,
When I was with the band, we had one album, and then I've worked on I think 3 EPs. I'm
okay.
trying to remember how many exactly. I think maybe 3 EPs or something. When I was around Killer
The EPs I remember is the one with the numbers one or something
Yes, 190.
190. I don't know what is
190
with
is my first
I don't know
EP.
what is with you and numbers 1994, and then you give us the MXQRSTUVW title, and like what's this numbers thing? But talk to us about the project, and maybe you end with why you are doing numbers. I don't understand.
So I'll just explain. So I had 190 was my first EP. Then we had How to Kill a Man. Then we had, I think the last project was Champagne and Some Voice Notes.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
And I don't know if there was something else. I'm trying to remember if there was any other thing in between.
Okay,
I don't think there
yeah, but
was.
I think aside that there are some singles and things that you
Oh
know
yeah, there are some singles: Walk
all
on
around that.
Water, Steve Jobs, FYI. Um, all of that is like
All of
oh,
them.
there's me minus you featuring Abstainer.
Okay.
There are a number of them. Yeah,
So,
number of
so in my head,
Oh, the
uh,
God EP. I've forgotten the God EP
oh yeah,
because when I
yeah,
was designing that
Charlie,
cover art,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
were
I
the one who
remember,
was you were the one who was giving me tips.
I remember. Hey, Charlie, then you have a lot of projects. You actually have we see much, basically.
Mm.
So in my head, you are like the I don't like saying people are a Christian version of something, but in my head, the
Yeah.
closest person that I can probably compare, not compare, but Walasi. Walasi sings in his local dialect. I don't know if you know
Oh,
Walasi.
okay. I know him. I've not listened to any of his
His
songs,
stuff.
but I know
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I heard of him long ago. I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
don't
So
really know him.
I am just wondering what especially in a space where even singing in the local that like the most people who are not even Asante or Akan make music in Chi. Even you speak Chi sometimes in your music. But
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what makes people, what inspires you? Let me make it personal for you. What makes you include your local dialect in your songs? Do you? I like it. I don't understand most of it, but I am wondering what is behind that.
uh, Personally, I think I don't know, but when I listen to music, especially from, I listen to a lot of other artists. It wasn't like this before, but I listen to a lot of other artists. I listen to Marisu,
Okay.
I listen to An Endless Ocean, and all those people. And there's always I realize, okay, maybe even before that, I just realized that there is just something about the local language that makes the song more interesting. I don't know
True.
what,
You have
but
a point.
I feel it more. Yeah, I feel it more. I mean, English is fine. It's nice. I sing in English all the time, but the local language gives it a different feel, a different connection to the song. For me, that's what it does for me. Like there's just a different connection to the song. There's just a different relation. Like if it's as though you don't understand, but it's as though you understand the song. It's like you
Okay.
can feel the emotion when local language is spoken, when the singing is in the local language. And because of that, I just feel like, okay, I mean, let me mix it up. And I like languages, so I just like to switch whatever. If I can speak anything, I mean, I once recorded a song titled "Si vous play," and I don't, I never released it. I don't even know where it is. But I
Exactly.
mean, the local languages helps. I mean, multiple languages actually, but local languages gives me a different connection to the song. I think it brings out a better emotion than the English would have, because there are things you can say in a way that would not sound the same in English,
Makes sense. Honestly.
will not give the same effect. And so I think for me, that's just basically the fact that I feel a different connection, a better connection to the
Yeah.
music. And I think it does same for other people. And it has just become part of my way of making my songs. So
Sure.
it has
And,
become something
I
I
mean,
like.
talking about languages, you personally, I used to only rap in English. To be honest, I only used to rap in English, and I even used to make fun of people that did like pidgin rap because I felt like it was lazy rap. I felt like it was, But then I started trying to like understand why it was done, and I understand. I realized that it was much easier to communicate in that way, even in Chi
Yeah.
or mixing up the languages, because now you have a wider spectrum of vocabulary. Things you
Mm-hmm.
would have said in a certain way can be said in three different ways now, and
Very true.
so then it made me rethink things that, oh, this is actually a lazy way to rap. This is actually more creative.
Mm,
You need to even think about the lines even more, because now it's like,
yeah.
what is the best way to say this? So I kind of understand saying that.
Mm,
Yeah, and like you said, there's a better connection. People who do not
yeah.
necessarily understand English, even though it may be a barrier to those who do not understand the language, some people still enjoy music that they don't understand anyways. So
Very true.
even now we have spirits chants, right? People are singing in tongues basically. We don't
I
understand
tell
what they're
you.
saying, but we just feel the connection. And as long as it's Christian,
Mm,
I guess there's a spirit behind it as well. And talking about languages again, you do not only make music in English and Ewe and sometimes Chi. I've heard you speak German in your song. Already the local one, I don't understand. So it's like I'm wondering like this boy, why? Did you did you do languages in school? What is this thing with you and languages? Why are you mixing? Do you speak Chinese perhaps? I don't know. What languages do you speak?
I wish.
Okay.
I, I didn't study languages, so I speak German because for a short period in my life I lived there,
Okay.
and so it was my everyday language for a
Okay.
short period in my life. So yeah, it's one of my languages. It's
Okay.
something I speak. Yeah, it's something I speak.
I
It's not
understand.
necessarily for the music or something I studied, but it's a language I speak. So
Okay, that makes sense.
it reflects in my music. Yeah.
So and which song was that? I'm trying to remember which song that was.
I am blessed there.
I am blessed. I can never be cursed. You're true with
Yeah.
RTJ, right? And Pizzoli.
No, I am blessed is with um Ezra the Scribe, Bonzil,
There's no
and
Pizzoli on that
Pizzoli.
song. Yeah, Pizzoli is on
Yeah,
that song. Okay,
Pizzoli.
good.
Yeah.
So he produced it as well, I guess.
Yeah, he produced it.
Yeah. So on that song, what were you saying basically? Then Anaka.
I'm trying to remember the verse.
Yeah.
Overflow like a tsunami, I'm ready to Yamina, Okarami, you more age of me. If you see me like it, I'm just basic. I'm blessed, and I gotta say, I am a DB and I can't even hide it. Wenn alles zu Ende kommt, dann kann ich sagen, dank den ich habe keine Sorgen, da hast du richtig bemerkt, ich bin wirklich ein Sohn von Gott. So, when everything, so it's basically, I'm trying to translate it as closely to English as I can. So it's almost like, when everything comes to an end, then I can say, thank you, Lord, or thank the Lord. I have no worries. I'm trying to translate it properly. So I have no worries, or I have no cares. I'm talking about being a DB, so I have no cares.
Okay.
You have rightfully descended. I am indeed a child of God.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm indeed a son of God. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm saying, yeah, when everything comes to an end, I can finally say that I have no cares, and you have rightfully descended. I am indeed a son of God. So I'm just talking about me being a son of God. So I have no worries. I have no cares. I am blessed.
Basically.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I heard in that was Danso and Mert. I don't know whether that was Mr. Danso, as in Danso, treating Danso or what, but it's fine. I mean, as long as you're saying something wonderful, we like it. You music plans for the year. What are your plans for this year, basically? Are you coming with another album? Are you making us more singles? An EP? What is it? What's happening this year?
So, interesting question. So, I had an album planned for last year. Is it? We are 2024.
Yeah.
So I had an album planned for 2022 actually, and I have everything in place. So I have everything in place.
Okay.
But then I just put a hold on 20. I said I'll do 2023, and then I had other plans in 2023.
Wait, your last album was when?
2021.
Already?
1994. It's been almost 3 years. Yeah.
Wow. That means
it's almost 3 years.
Was it the same year? Was Overflow in the same year?
I think it was the same year.
Overflow was February 2021, I guess. So you dropped your project in August 2021.
Yeah.
Wow. Charlie, time flies, pal.
Time flies, I tell you, Charlie. It's almost 3 years. So.
And I'm in die.
Yeah, and I'm in die.
Charlie, this one there, make I ask you, you did soak medical?
No.
But see, I don't know who else I can. Because when I heard that line, I was like, this is so MDK. I was like, I'm wondering, is it that you heard it somewhere? But like, it was an interesting line. It's one of those lines you hear and it's like, it's very funny. It's like, Ubinyanimio, and I'm in die.
I think I just read the Ubinyanimio. Yeah, so I just like, Ubinyanimio. And I'm in die.
Well. I mean, that was the highlight of that song. Or when I think about the project, that's like the highlight line for me. That's why I even did that video I put on.
Yeah, I said that you did a video.
That was like my funniest. The funniest.
You have to re-release that meme.
Because
that video, say release video.
Yeah. But 2021 was a good year. Year. Yesterday I was thinking about how 2014. Was one of the golden years. It's like, well, I shouldn't say one of the. I think in my books is the golden year of Christian hip hop in terms of the albums that came that year. All those songs are turning 10 years this year, actually. And I'm thinking about how quickly time flies. In that year, we got Anomaly. In that year, we got Anomaly from D.Grae. In that year, we got Neverland from Andy Mineo. In that year, we got Jackie O'Perry's first album, The Art of Joy, I think.
The Art of Joy, yeah.
Propaganda dropped some project, Crimson Chord or something. I've forgotten the title. Like, a lot of good projects happened that year. The Truth, who's now changed his name to Emmanuel, had some album called Heartbeat or something. Like, really good albums. Oh, yeah, it's been a while. It's called Emmanuel now. It's been like almost a year or something. But yeah, so all these projects have actually grown, and thinking about how even projects we dropped a few months ago in my mind, I've already 3 years old, so that's good. So yeah, that means this year you are coming with more, I guess.
Oh yeah, something must come out.
Something must come
And we
out.
must work on a few things. Yeah.
Okay, good. Are you married? You didn't expect me to ask you that.
Really? No.
You're not married.
You are the married one. Me,
Do you have any kids we don't know about?
unless there are kids I don't even know about. I don't have any.
Okay, but I guess we are looking forward to seeing you put a ring on somebody's finger soon. I'm acting like your
Oh, one day.
I'm acting like your uncles. Your uncles are asking you when you're going to get married. The Ghanaian uncle.
Yeah. Of course, one day
One day,
you
one
hear
day.
from my lawyers.
Yeah. I think we've covered a lot, but we'll definitely have you on the show again. We was talking about. I actually wanted to ask you something, and I guess that is what I'll end this show with, today's show with. Your
Okay.
creative process when you're making music, when you are writing, when you are looking to say put out something nice. What's your creative process? What from say ideation to execution? What happens in between?
Um, hmm. This question, when people ask me, sometimes it's one of the most difficult things to answer
Okay,
because depending on what song it is or what is being worked on, the creative process might be different. So in answering it, I'm going to use examples instead of
sure.
giving one particular
That's
process.
fine. That's fine.
So for a song like let's say Love Trip, um, it wasn't a planned song.
Okay,
I was, I think probably what I like to do the most is to work in the studio. I like to write in the studio because there's a different motivation that I like the aura, the energy that the studio vibe gives because I write differently in the studio.
okay.
So I can actually pinpoint songs I wrote in the studio as against songs I wrote at home. I like to have a beat I'm working with sometimes. And before I started doing that, I can actually write and have the producer produce and all of that. But sometimes I feel it's a longer process. And so sometimes I like the producer, just work on a beat, let me have it. I mean, let me see what I can do with it. Mostly when it comes to the choruses, I'm able to work on choruses at home. Like I just listen to the chorus, and most of the time I get a vibe straight away. Or sometimes I get the vibe and I'm like, this is too usual. So I want something else. And so I just listen over and over and over and over again. And then try to get another chorus, And the Holy Spirit there, he's a wealth of
Yeah.
choruses and a wealth of information. So I always get something new. But when it comes to the verses, I like to be around other people. I like to be around those who are also on the song or maybe the producer, just to see what vibe they are getting from the beat. Because I mean, one beat can have so many different vibes for different people, depending on what kind of genre you are used to listening to or the kind of flow you have and all of those things. So I think for me, generally, the creative process is listen to the beat and then try to write something on it. But I like to also have I like spontaneity. I like let's just Charlie give me a beat, let's sing along or something. So songs like Obinyani Mew, I wrote it in the studio.
Okay.
uh Love Trip, I wrote it in the studio. I Am Blessed, I wrote the verse in the studio. 1994, the first verse, I didn't write it at all. I entered the booth and sang with the intention that I'll come back and change it when
Okay.
I actually write it. But then I never did that. I just wrote the second verse and then topped it off. So I think for me, I just like being around the studio. I think for me that's what helps my creative vibe. And then I also like to have my songs. I like to speak in tongues undertone. Another is a whole other track
Okay.
in the recording.
I
So
see.
I think it's very prominent in the God EP because that one I recorded the speaking in tongues as part of the track, but mostly I
Okay.
speak in tongues underneath to make it like very very low, just so I mean whatever it is, the impact will be had. And
And that's a new one. I've
so
never heard that before.
that's my general process. So it's like I write the song, um, we pray. I mean the producer and I will pray for sending the song. Um, I mean I don't sometimes I look at the song and I wonder where it came from because a lot of the songs I don't know where it came. I don't remember the day I wrote it. I don't remember how it came about. Like, come over here. Forever. I don't remember the day I wrote it. I actually don't remember much about it.
Okay.
The only thing I remember is the day we went to back the song, and I took Lit along because she had
Okay.
just closed from her night shift. She's a nurse. She had just closed from her night shift. And I was like, I'm going to the studio. She should follow me. And then we went to Pizzole's place. And then when I was in, I was like, no, something is different here. So I want her to do something in the background. So I said she should do the and all of those things. And it worked. And I like to put a lot of ad libs as well. No matter how subtle, just something in the back, something somewhere. I just think music, it must be full. So the spaces sometimes irk me a bit. Two of the things that are very important to me are melody and then the lyrics. Yeah, melody and lyrics. So
Interesting. Yeah, that's a full process right there. But
yeah,
you said one thing that
yeah,
that made an impression. So you're saying that you pray with a producer. So that leads me to
yeah, I
asking,
do.
wondering, so what if the producer is not Christian? Or do you work with non-Christian producers at all? Do you do that?
Uh, I haven't worked with a non-Christian producer. I mean, in recent memory, I don't remember working with a non-Christian producer.
Okay.
As long as I've been D.Grae. I've worked with people who have recorded for secular artists, but I'm praying. We are praying. We are working on this song together, so we are praying.
True.
But I mean, it's my song. You are the producer, and we have to agree, or else, Charlie. Because I must pray. I don't know about you, but we have to pray
We
about the
have to
song.
pray.
And so far, I've always worked with people who have. I mean, who love God. Yeah, people who believe in God and love God. So
That makes
yeah.
sense. That makes sense, honestly.
Mm.
Honestly, because you need to, how can two walk except they agree?
They
They agree.
agree.
So, I mean, that makes
Mm.
a lot of sense.
And it's not even intentional. We just think within my circles, this is who I know. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not even intentional. Like I'll not choose this producer, I'll not choose this producer. It just happens that my
Yeah.
friends are spiritual people. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. So, yeah, it's good to know that you have plans for this year. New music for everybody. We are looking forward to it. It's been great having you on the maiden edition or the first ever Nana Nie Show, first episode. It's great
Charlie,
to have you on it.
it's an honor.
Yeah. I'm glad
I'm
you.
excited to be
Yeah,
here.
I'm glad you made this work, and it's going to be the beginning of many nicer and many thought provoking conversations. Yeah, so it's been great having you.
Mm.
It was
Thank
for
you.
that was D.Grae. D.Grae. Can you tell us?
Give my shout out.
I think. Hope that's not my shout out. Okay, my shout out.
Ah, shout
This
out.
is your money for me,
And
sir.
Bisan your mama. Our father Bishop Isaac
Okay. That's
Ochiboateng,
nice.
Charlie.
That's nice.
Charlie. My direct shepherd, Pastor Elikem, Reverend
Okay.
Elikem were there. All my Shalva Shalom people.
Who are
I mean,
those?
you don't understand. Shalva Shalom must be represented all the time.
Who are those,
So
please?
when I say Shalva Shalom, they know themselves.
Are they the people
It's
living
a whole group.
in their house? Is that?
Yes.
Oh, I guessed right. I was wondering who are those.
My family members.
Okay, nice.
So all Shalva Shalom people, Charlie. God bless
God
you.
bless
Who's the
them.
me them you?
Eh, let me see. Who say okay, you told me this funny story about how the Chaskele people wrote D.Grae instead of D.Grae.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah.
D.Grae, oh. Not D.Grae. They wrote D.Grae.
D.Grae.
And it wasn't intentional because they knew I was D.Grae. But I think autocorrect changed it to D.Grae and he did not see it.
So,
And they had already uploaded it. I'm like,
say sometime now or tech.
Charlie.
Now by bachelor's degree into autocorrect your my degree.
Oh,
degree. Yeah, so Charlie, it's been nice having you. It's been fun having you. I think this is going to ginger me to do more. This year, I want to be more consistent with my YouTube. So it's good that this worked. I'm going to take this as a cue to do bigger things, So it was nice having you. If you've not subscribed to the channel, kindly do. Anyway, your socials. I should probably put your socials here so people can follow you, like your stuff, listen to your music. Follow him. Follow him even as he follows Jesus.
May have followers.
He followers. But yeah, subscribe to the channel, put us on post notification so you get a notification every single time I drop a video. Until next time, it's from me and D.Grae. Peace.